What's good, family, and welcome to another episode of Jimmy Bond's Podcast right here at WPEB Radio, 88.1 FM, 95.1 FM, West Philadelphia. What's good, family? What's good? Remember, you can call us with your comments, your questions at 215-222-4201. Again, that's 215-222-4201. Also, family, make sure you email us at jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. Again, that's jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. That's JIMMYBONDS podcast@gmail.com. And as always, family, you know we got the team in the building. Actually, we have one member that is not here. Shout out to my man Ty. He got me running the board today. I'm like doing triple duty over here, hosting, running the board, holding conversations. But you know, we do what we do. But anyway, shout out to Ty. But of course, I have Lady T in the building with us. Lady T, what's up, mama? How you doing?
Hi, welcome to the radio world. How you doing, people? Thank you for the red carpet and the flowers. I appreciate them.
You know, you get bouquets of them, mama. Move right along. Remember, family, you always can follow us on Instagram at Jimmy Bond's Podcast, on TikTok at Jimmy Bond's Podcast, and make sure you join Jimmy Bond Podcast Facebook group. Let's continue to open the dialogue. Yeah. Move right along, family. Tonight, we got a special guest in the building.
Right.
Special guest in the building. I don't really want to talk too much about what he does. Let's give him an intro. How about that?
Yeah, go with that.
You intro. Cool with that?
Let's get this intro out of the way.
Nas Cook, or Nas as he's like to be called, is a native of Willingsboro, New Jersey. He is the founder of the nonprofit organization Change the Narrative. He's also the founder of the for-profit organization Nas Networks. He works to mentor troubled youth in learning new ways to be of value to themselves and others through perspective, purpose, and entrepreneurship. His networking firm, Nas Networks, brings together entrepreneurs and creators of all walks of life to have a synergy of people with open minds and people to look forward to building stronger relationships. Nas is a nonprofit founder, a community leader, a bridge builder, a mindset shifter, a purpose-driven networker, a youth motivator. I like to describe him as vision-centered, uplifting, authentic, passionate, influential, charismatic, dedicated, optimistic, and down to earth. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to my man, my brother, Nas Cook, my man Nas, Nas Networks, and Change the Narrative organization. Welcome to the show, fam. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How you feeling, man? How you feeling?
I'm good.
Lady T, as I do a lot of talking, go ahead, sister. You got your first question.
Oh, wow. Really? You're going to do that to me?
I've been throwing it at you. Go ahead, do it. Do what you do.
Okay. Would you consider yourself a motivational speaker?
Absolutely.
Okay. So with that being said, when did you know that this is exactly what I want to do?
When I wake up and do it without thinking about doing it. I feel like when you do things without the force or without the stress, you just do things naturally, for instance, lead or innovate or create or inspire or even speak value in life and in people, then that's when you know that that's your purpose, that's your calling.
Okay. So how many years?
How many years have
you been like a motivational speaker? Because I'm looking over here and homeboy's like he just turned 18. So
in the business aspect of motivational speaking, it's been like 5 months. But as far, nothing crazy. But as far as just speaking to people, I've always been someone with a voice. I've been someone that didn't stand for nothing less than having my voice heard in any environment.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Jay?
No, listen, I respect that. I had a conversation with Nas a couple weeks back when we were setting his interview up. And the thing that kind of made me kind of think twice about him was I thought Nas was like at least 35.
Oh,
and see, that's the reason why I was asking.
Just his whole mannerisms,
like 18 years old.
His demeanor, his thought pattern, and not to say that younger people don't have those kind of ideals, but I'm just saying, just in general, in terms of when you meet somebody, just the aura they give off, right? You can tell me, so I was like, yeah, bro, we gonna do XYZ. He was like, bro, I'm really only 22. Yo, get out of here. Stop playing.
Okay. All right. But it's like the thing when you go and you look on his page and when you just hear him speak,
everything.
It's such maturity behind it. So I'm like, okay, like he hasn't been doing this for years.
And period.
And he at least gotta be, like you said, possibly in his 30s.
I thought he was my age. I was like, yo, bro, we about to go do some things together.
I just thought he had oil over lay and cocoa butter water. Like I didn't know what was going on. Okay.
But that just goes to show that your parents raised you right, man. Your parents did a great job in instilling certain tools in you to be where you are. Because at such a young age, and I'm not going to talk about this anymore the rest of the show, because age doesn't matter. It's just a matter of whether you have a drive and a push. And for you, what I picked up a lot was about your purpose.
Absolutely.
Why purpose was so vital for you. It's not just, oh, we're going to go make some money. It's about the purpose and why you're doing it, right?
Absolutely.
So one of the things I picked up in doing the research, you talked about branding.
Mm-hmm.
So can you share the importance of branding yourself from your perspective as far as being a networker, an entrepreneur, motivational speaker? Why is it so vital to brand yourself?
Absolutely. Personal brand is everything. I definitely feel, when you come from an environment to where everyone's brand is the same, or everyone follows the same push, or everyone's in the same narrative, what separates you is how you personally brand yourself. What separates you is how you carry yourself, how you talk, even how you dress.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that being a crucial push to get you in rooms to where you have to articulate and carry it a different way. That's why personal branding is so important to me. Because if I didn't brand myself, I'll be looked like everybody else from my hood, everybody else that's back at home. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's why you have to brand yourself.
That's exactly what I be feeling like. You got to separate yourself.
Exactly.
Don't blend in, stand out.
Right.
Exactly.
Don't conform to what it is that they're telling you who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You actually have to dictate who you are to them. This is who I am.
Exactly.
Take it or leave it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
From your point of view, tell me this, because the change the narrative thing, that's like
Mm-hmm.
a big slogan for me, right?
Yeah.
Not because of the fact that I'm like, we got to change the narrative. I'm so big on changing the narrative about what people feel about us,
Mm-hmm.
right? So when you came up with the name Change the Narrative, what perspective was that from? What were you thinking?
To start, exactly how you just said it relates with you. That's why I made change the narrative, because that relates to everybody, any walk of life, any form of life. People can say they change their narrative, and their narrative may not be exactly what they think it is, but they are changing the narrative in their own perspective. It came about just me understanding the environment, really changing the narrative to how you speak, how you carry it, to even the things you do, the time you wake up, how you shake somebody's hand, really just changing the narrative in every aspect, every the way you live. My narrative painted, being a young Black man, is I'm supposed to move and walk this way. I changed that narrative to now I'm moving and walking this way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's changing the narrative.
For sure.
And that's what's heavy. That's why the name is what it is.
I love you. T, go
Absolutely.
ahead. I love it.
Okay, so my question to you is, when you come across someone that you believe has great potential,
Mm-hmm.
how do you motivate them, or what do you say to motivate them to have them take it to the next level for themselves?
Mm-hmm. That's a great question. I was actually just speaking with my mentees about this. I feel it's so that a lot of people have great potential, but don't understand their potential due to the lack of vision that they have.
Okay.
So if it even comes down to just speaking life into some people to where they can see the potential that they have, that's how you're going to see the potential that they have. Because evidently, just being, again, I keep saying the word environment, but that's what I most relate to, is like being in that environment to where if we learn how to win, we're going to be so much stronger because we already know how to lose. And being in certain rooms and being like in City Hall, being with Isaiah and all them, I'm seeing that a lot of people that's at that top spot, when they lose, they don't know how to recover because they only know how to win. What makes us dangerous is we know how to lose, so that to recover from that loss is what's heavy, because you can't teach me how to lose. I already lost. I have nothing to lose because I come from loss. You get what I'm saying?
I get that.
So like
For
that's where the potential come from. Everybody got potential. It's just the way that they perceive it. Chosen perspective is everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Okay.
For sure. Most definitely.
So I guess my next question to you is, with you being so inspirational to other people,
Mhm.
who do you go to get inspired?
It's a great question. Eric Thomas, E.T. I'm gonna be honest. Like it's definitely, I can't say that right now. Mr. Hahn, shout out to you being a mentor. I can't say where I want to go. There's nobody around me that's where I want to go or where I want to be. So it's kind of like you have to have a delusion. I don't go to anybody who inspired me. It's like I got to wake up and inspire myself.
No doubt.
Because there isn't that around me. There's nobody that's got my vision. There's nobody that knows where. There's nobody at where I want to be that comes from where I'm at.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
No doubt.
Okay.
Everybody's still that surface.
That's different. That's a
Absolutely.
different kind of
Absolutely.
perspective. My motto is impress yourself.
Okay.
Because I feel like if you impress yourself, you imagine if you impress everybody else.
Mhm.
You got to be your biggest critic. So if you can impress the biggest critic, you're doing something right.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
100%.
I get that.
What's that transition like? So you're from Willingsboro, New Jersey. Like,
So I'm originally I was born in Daytona, Florida.
Oh.
talk about it, right?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
so I moved around a lot. I'm born in Florida, was living out in like PA, around like King of Prussia area. Then jumped over to Philly, was living in Philly, then Jersey, then back down, all over the place. It's not, I can't really claim no area, but
what has that done for you? I find that being a person like me, they might call me a transplant in Philly, right?
100%.
I'm not from Philly. I got family in Philly. That's how I ended up in Philly. And I'm born and raised in DC. So being a transplant, the culture shock I had moving from DC to Philly was completely different.
Yeah.
So what you know, you're not a nomad, but you're able to move around and navigate different places. What was the culture that you picked up with all the places that you moved around?
That's the biggest one. Living in like that area, like near like Limerick, PA.
Yeah.
But not being from Limerick, PA.
You out there.
You learned how to talk and carry a different way because at the school I was at, everybody didn't look like me. Everybody,
no doubt.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like
doubt.
you had to really adapt to move a certain way. But then when you left there and you go back to where you actually from, it's like it's flip flop. It's warm and hot. You know, I mean, it's cold and it's hot. So you had to really just learn how to translate. And it's funny because when I would leave from out PA and I would go out Philly or Jersey, they'd be like, yo, why you talking like that? Wait, what you got on? You know what I'm saying? You wearing moccasins. You know what I'm saying? Some stuff like that. And it's like just being able to translate that. And actually it led to me being the businessman that I am today because I know how to talk in any room, in every room, to anybody. And that comes from being able to be in different environments and still be the same person.
I think that's the most critical aspect. I come from a white school. That's what I'm gonna call it, right? See, I always tell you that.
Called PWI.
Look, that's what it is. What it is. I'm not even gonna front and be like, yo, I went to a white school, and when I graduated high school, I had another culture shock. Man, like, yo, everybody ain't like that out here, and you start to develop a kind of way of adapting to different situations. You know what I mean? You don't know who you're gonna meet. You don't know who you're gonna come across. So you always have to not code switch, but know who you're talking to. That's my thing, right? Know exactly who you're talking to. And having a different background, being able to be different places, particularly with networking, you're able to have conversations with people that you wouldn't think that you could have conversations with.
Absolutely.
So that's sometimes we might think that it's we didn't go to a black school or we didn't grow up in those environments, but those environments actually make us better. They shape us better for any environment that we might go into. You know what I mean? So I that's what I love. I love about that, man. Yeah, some people. I love how you're big on entrepreneurship. This is one thing that we always talk about. Not just supporting black business, supporting small business, just really, really going ham on entrepreneurship. I'm a firm believer in that. Unless you're working for yourself, you ain't really gonna make what you want to make. And I don't mean make money. I'm talking about creating a lifestyle, a legacy that you want. It don't work for everybody, but it works for some, right?
Yeah.
Some people become entrepreneurs for profit. You really stick to the purpose aspect of it, right?
Absolutely.
So what are your thoughts on people who go more for profit than for purpose?
It's a heavy one. You hitting a lot of questions on there. I literally was just talking with my peoples, but I say I chase purpose, not money. And with that comes in the game, there is money. And if you're not chasing the game, if you chasing the game and not the money's going to be in the game.
Yeah.
And once you understand that, the game is endless. There's no cap to how great you can be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, again, I'm 22. I'm chasing the game right now and I'm going to continue to chase the game. And I see myself past people that's heavy in the game. And that's the way of vision. I don't chase the money because if you chase the money, you're going to limit it. 50,000, 20, that you won't limit where you want to go because it's way much more than that.
Yeah.
It's so much more than that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So many ways to make money in the game. You can be a walking brand. You can be the brand. You can get paid for literally just being you. And that comes with chasing the game.
I think that's always
the money.
You're speaking that language right there. You
Yeah,
get paid for being you. You don't have to get paid for being nobody else. You get paid for being you.
Exactly.
Because that's
Brand
funny.
deal.
You work a regular 9 to 5. I saw you said in the video. You was like, my man said he gonna fire his 9 to 5.
Yeah.
I was digging that because I fired my 9 to 5 a couple years ago, right?
9 to 5 work for you.
But it's funny because when you're working for someone, you're not necessarily chasing the job that you have or the purpose that you're in that job. You're in a sense, you're really working for that money. And I think sometimes you said something that there's no cap on the potential of an entrepreneur, or how much an entrepreneur can make. If I go to work and they say they're going to pay me $40,000 a year, that's my cap. That's what they feel like I'm worth, right? But I know I'm worth more than that.
Exactly.
I'm not worth 40,000. I'm worth way more than 40,000.
Exactly.
You might have thought I was.
Yeah.
When you sat down to interview me, you might have been like, oh yeah, he's worth. No, bro. I'm worth way more than that.
Right.
So I have to. For me, it's like a discipline. You have to really be like, knowing your worth is probably the biggest thing.
You know your value.
And people put caps on you because that's where they want to put you at. But if we're going to change the narrative, you got to take the cap off.
Absolutely. I like that wording.
You know what I mean? So if you're going to do that, you got to take it off, because otherwise we all be walking around like, damn, I'm only making 60,000 this year. Okay. These are the limits that you can do with 60,000.
Exactly.
Right? And not that anybody making 60,000, that's a pretty good salary in today's market. Pretty good, right? Sustainable in the sense of I can live.
Right.
Not comfortable, but I can live.
Right.
I think that we all have the potential somehow. Not everybody can be a boss. Everybody can be an entrepreneur. What everybody can do is help each other reach that potential of being an entrepreneur. And I'm not a trickle down effect person. I'm like, yo, if I start my business, you should start yours. You know what I mean? So that's the way I believe entrepreneurs have to breed each other, have to feed off each other, not be jealous because you making more money than me, but really support you so that energy can come over here too. You know what I mean? I'm big on energy. So I think that's a really big thing.
Okay.
Now, from your point of view, as a mentor, and I'm not going to talk about that, but as a mentor, how do you connect with your mentees? What makes you connect with them more than, say, somebody even my age, for example? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're closer to their demographic, what they're experiencing, than, say, I would. I might come in and be like, oh, y'all got to stop doing X, Y, Z. And I'm not saying I would, but I'm saying somebody my age might think like that. Instead of really, really understanding what these young men are going through at this time period in their life, culturally and society-wise.
Yeah.
Because when I was 22, society was not the same as it is now. Right? You know what I mean? So how do you connect with them more on a personal basis, being that your demographic, your generation is at the same place?
I would say it's actually one of the books I'm reading called Strength Finder by Tom Rath. It says chosen perspective is everything. And being in that age gap to where your mentees is only a year younger than you. And I don't even like to call them mentees, because at the end of the day, it's just me having that perspective that's chosen and them trying to get to that. You know what I'm saying? So it's really just being in the same path, and literally one decision can lead me going the same route that they went, or literally us being in the same predicament. We are visually the same. We are visually the same in any scenario. It's just really how you choose to perceive your options, your choices, and what you want to do and where you want to go. And it's strategic. You have to be real strategic with it.
Yeah.
Especially when you come from that.
I feel you on that.
Yeah.
I feel you on that. T, I did a lot of talking. Go ahead. You know me.
So I guess my question to you is, what does it look like when you're having a challenging day? Like, what exactly do you do when you're having your challenging day?
I would say one thing that I do, and I've been more repetitive, is I pray.
Okay.
That's heavy. I pray and I journal. Just being one and being centered with yourself. When there's a lot of worldly aspects, you gotta just pray. You gotta pray through it, and it leads you closer to where you want to be. It leads you closer to what you want to do. And that I mean, you can't cry to nobody. Nobody care if you cry. If you cry, they're gonna look at you like, what are you crying for? You know what I'm saying? So you got only person that's gonna hear you and always hears you and is gonna step forward is God. You gotta pray.
Okay.
Yeah.
That ain't nothing to play with.
Yeah, you know.
I mean, I'm gonna tell you, like, as an entrepreneur, listen.
Right.
You better pray.
I mean, I'm very big on meditation.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I will take myself in a room and just
shut it down.
Kumbaya.
Yeah.
Get myself together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I can get my thoughts together, get my words together, take a deep breath and be like,
I know, right? I mean, I don't leave the house without praying. I mean, my prayer be half hour, 45 minutes sometimes, just because and I don't mean to call it ritual, but it's something that I do because I've seen that when I do pray, my alignment is different. You get what I'm saying?
Get that.
And I don't mean to get too, I'm not religious, I'm more spiritual, right? So my alignment is different. I feel like I'm connected to God different. I feel like what he puts in front of me will be of him because I have that connection. Or I can see something that's not of him so that I can change that. You know what I'm saying? And I think that probably came from when I was a kid. My mom was like, you better pray before you leave the house. And, you just pick it up, you get older, you realize like, yo, like this actually calms me.
Calm.
Yeah, this actually calms me.
Remember.
Particularly being a black man. You know what I mean? Think about how high blood pressure, stress, hypertension, people, craziness, going to work every day. Bro, you better pray before you go on that, John. You never know what you're going to experience. So,
I mean, for me, I get up every morning around 4 o'clock, 4:30 ish. I meditate. Then I exercise. Then I get myself ready for my day. And while I'm driving to work, that's when I'm praying. Like, I mean, just traffic alone would drive you crazy. So it's like, I am praying the whole exactly.
Traffic.
I am praying the whole entire time while I'm driving to work.
You better.
You know what I mean? Satellite radio, Channel 64, Kurt Franklin radio.
You going in?
In the background, because again, like, I don't know what's going to happen when I walk into this job.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
But I mean, from the time that I wake up to the time that, you know, I'm walking into that office, I am in Zen mode.
You better be.
And I'm like the happiest person, and that's without coffee.
And I'm unfortunate that you got to go back to work tomorrow.
Now, today was my first day back.
It was?
Yes.
You did okay? Did you survive?
That's okay. I mean, I got some stuff when I get home.
Wow. Amen. Amen. Now, so let me ask you this, man, and I don't know if it's an addiction or not. I don't like to use the word addiction because people might view it a different way, right? Mm-hmm. But where did you develop your addiction to networking? Because you are like the networking dude, you know what I'm saying? So I find that's always a dope thing for me. Like, that's always a dope thing. So where did you find out, like, you love networking? That was something you love to do?
When I seen how people gravitate to my energy in different rooms, really just understand the business side of it. I've always been someone that someone could connect with, or like, even like, I've never been a selfish person. I'm very selfless. So if it was an opportunity that wasn't for me, I'll put somebody in that position for that opportunity and take a step back and let them prosper. But really just understanding that people gravitate towards energy they feel is genuine. Like, I can personally say all my intentions are genuine, pure intent. You know what I'm saying? With anybody in it. And you don't find that in the business world, especially not at that position.
No.
So
he said he is not a gatekeeper.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And it's really like you can really leverage that on a business aspect of really just connecting people. And when I understood that, I'm like, yeah, I'm already great at this. So let's get paid.
Listen, let's get paid doing it.
Yeah,
let's get paid doing it.
100%.
This is something that you took out of Forbes. You said, brand yourself as a thought leader and your reputation will grow automatically. You did your research. What post was that on? You did your research. I got to. If I ain't doing my job, if I don't, bro. This was on your Instagram. Okay. Post March 16th. Okay. With 291 days left, how do you plan to brand yourself in 2025? That's the question you pose to the people, right? Yeah. But I thought the quote was dope because we talk about that brand thing. I had to start realizing that your name is your brand. Heavy. Right? Mm-hmm. So everything that's associated with your brand, how you go, how you are, you have to make sure you dictate what you want your brand to speak to, what you want your brand to align with, and what you don't want your brand to align with. Exactly. Right? You know, like our podcast, right? We're in a community radio station. We're community-based. We're community-oriented. We never change that philosophy. Because of the fact that we just felt like the void was in the community. So let's fill that void the best way possible, right? So what does this quote mean to you? Brand yourself as a thought leader and your reputation will grow automatically. As simple as my name being in rooms that I'm not in because of how my name is carried. My business, I've gotten funding off just people seeing how I move, or like you talked to me, came out of the event and was like, yo, bro, I don't know what you do, but let's talk. You know what I'm saying? So like really just understanding that when you represent your business or when you represent your brand can go so much farther because you are always feet on land. No doubt. You know what I'm saying? I'm always feet on land. I'm always networking. I'm always in rooms, whether if it's stuff with, what's the events we was at? Build a Table. Exactly. Okay. Built the Table, the Philly Fashion Touchdown stuff in City Hall, whatever it is, your name being in the room and you carrying it the way that you carry, they don't even have to know what your business is, but they know that they trust you and they want to do business with you. And that's off rip. So understanding that aspect, understanding that you can go far just by representing yourself in a high demeanor, in a demeanor, then that's the game. Like that's really the game. It's what it is. It's what it is. See what you gonna say.
How often has someone come up to you and say thank you for motivating me? How often have you heard that? How often does that happen?
A lot.
Really? Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's decent.
Definitely a lot. It'd be people I didn't even expect to come up and say it. You get what I'm saying? So a lot, because it's a lot of things that people that's successful don't see or understand because they already passed that threshold. And when you see somebody that's still actively there, or like that's still actively, that's not there, that's on the journey, you may open somebody's eyes that's already succeeded on the journey.
Yeah.
I understand things or business wise. You know what I'm saying? So
is it a funny feeling to get praise?
yeah.
It is,
I'm not
isn't
used
it?
to it. I'm not used to it.
And you're
I'm
kind of like, oh man, what am I say to that?
Yeah, I got to learn how to accept and take compliments.
Yeah.
I don't. It's foreign.
It is.
It's foreign.
Well, that's because you're really thinking about the work more than
he's very humble.
Yeah, definitely. But more than you're probably focused more on the impact you're making rather than the praise you're getting. At least that's the way I feel sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
People send you stuff sometimes. I love your show. You be like,
okay,
word,
thanks,
okay,
bro.
appreciate it. Like I didn't even know it was like that.
Yeah.
You know, but you talk about you got fans. I don't know these people, but it's humbling.
Yeah.
It's super humbling.
Absolutely.
And with you talking about faith, like my Achilles heel was like, yo, I got to keep my feet on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You know, I don't want to start my ego eating me up or I'm better than this or I'm better than that. Like, so when I accept compliments or praise or you did a great job, it's kind of like, thank you, God, appreciate it. Next thing.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like you have to have that mindset because the job ain't done, the work ain't done.
Exactly.
You got to keep working.
That's what you just said there. Is like when you're doing the things that you do and you are in the journey, you got to remember that you pleasing God. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm pleasing God by helping all these people. I don't make money in a nonprofit. You don't make money in no 501(c)(3). You know what I'm saying? You don't get no crazy bag off that. You know what I'm saying? But
sure.
but you pleasing God, you helping people, you guiding people, you bringing people to their righteousness. You know what I'm saying? So that's my thanks is I'm pleasing God.
No doubt. No doubt. I think that's a critical aspect.
Absolutely.
Aspect. Sis, you gonna say something?
Sure. So every time we have a guest, I always ask them the same question.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very surprised at the answers that I receive when I ask this one particular question.
Uh-oh.
So everybody has a story.
Mm-hmm.
What's your one story that you tell people all the time? It's the one thing that sits with you no matter where you go or what you do. What's your story?
I feel like being a motivator, you got a lot of stories. That's a lot of different stories. But that one story that's most powerful, you gotta give me a second.
It's all good.
I don't have a lot of stories yet.
Just one time at band camp?
Really just, I two stories. Being like living in the area to where it's considered the suburbs, people always come up to me and be like, oh, bro, you suburban. Like, why you so suburban? What you suburban? And I'm like, I look at that and I hear it's like, you think I'm suburban because I choose not to speak the way that you speak. I choose not to carry it the way that you think. But like, when you really see what my life really does look like, you will be stepped back because it's, you know what I'm saying, my shoes is heavy. My shoes is real heavy and they large. So it's like when people come out, oh, you suburban, bro. Or they try to downplay you, be like, oh, you suburban. Or Nas whitewash. You know what I'm saying? All this different stuff. And then you think about that and it's just like, you saying this because I choose to perceive things differently. Then it opens your mindset, makes you think like, okay, cool. I'm suburban, bro. And you hate me for it. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to do this and I'm going to move the needle this way. And I understand a lot from the other side and the environment. You know what I'm saying? But I'm suburban.
Well, I'm suburban. Yo, listen, I'm a suburban bull all day. I ain't gonna tell you. Listen, I'm a suburban bull. I live in Upper Darby. I'm a suburban bull. Like it is what it is. I ain't afraid to say it. Hate me if you want to. But I think that's critical though, man. You gotta state your claim.
Yeah.
You gotta state what you're like. Look, they will classify you as who they want you to be.
Exactly.
Who they perceive you, who they might feel like they want to be, but they can't.
Mm-hmm.
So they might try to label you whatever the fact. I mean, I can't even tell you how many times people be like, why are you talking white?
Yeah.
Like, what is talking white?
Exactly.
Can you tell me what talking white is? My mother was an educated school teacher. I don't have a choice but to talk like this, right? So if my house, if you don't use proper diction or proper language, she's gonna tell you about it.
Yeah.
So you better learn.
Exactly.
I better get this right.
Your vernacular.
So your vernacular.
Yeah.
So I'm mixing in my street lingo. I'm mixing in my English lingo.
Yeah.
I'm making my own language. So by the time somebody sounds talking, they be like, yo, you're really freaking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. You know what I mean? Like
different.
No, exactly.
Yes.
Different. Something you're not used to.
Yeah.
Which is, I think that is what makes me feel, that's what I feel about you, in a sense of you're not used to men of your caliber thinking about things in this manner.
Mm-hmm.
When you do nonprofit stuff or you do stuff for the community or you do stuff like just in general for others, you give up so much of yourself.
Absolutely.
You know, you give up your selfishness. You give up your thought, okay, this is going to help me. You give so much of that up. what do you feel like you might have given up on this journey starting, even in its infancy? What do you feel like you might have given up just in terms of what your job is?
That's a great question. I would say when you try to, what I'm doing, I'm fighting against the grain. And you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So when people visually see what I'm doing, you gotta, first of all, people don't like when somebody looks like me is trying to cause like positivity in young men that look like me, because they understand how dangerous that young men that look like me could be if they just understood their perspective and their value.
Yeah.
So when you really speak life into people, or you guide people, you really put people in position to win, or to move a certain way, or to move differently in a world of people not wanting them to see them move differently, or be positive, or move righteous, or even to read a book. It's like they really hate you for it.
They
And for
do.
me, it's like what I stand for, and I'm really feet on land, really being in the environment when I'm standing for with them, and then I'm going up in like, yeah, they're gonna cover me, but like when I'm up in like City Hall, like places, and they look at me like they really try to pick my brain or have me be feeling befuddled just because of all the positive that I'm doing. And they know I'm not getting paid for it, but the government gonna write that check for that nonprofit
They
to
sure
understand that
Mm-hmm.
I'm fixing a problem, or I'm changing a problem, or hence changing the narrative. But it's really just giving up that perspective of wanting to be normal, because you can't be normal. You are a target when you are doing things, when you are becoming successful, when you're guiding people to success. You know what I'm saying? Like when you think of people that has done that, like one of the quotes I say is, I'm freeing modern day slaves from modern day slavery. Modern day slavery being the worldly aspect of we living in, and I'm really getting people's perspectives to choose to see and want better for themselves. And the world does not like that.
He's talking heavy.
Comments and text and emails and the whole 9 yards. People going to attack you when your empire is strong, but you got to understand that. So giving that up, I don't care. I'm gonna do it. Feet on land. I'm fearless. I'm God fearing.
This boy dropping bars
Right?
over here.
I say he's
Absolutely.
talking heavy over
Dropping
here.
bars over this joint.
Heavy.
You gotta love it. You gotta love it.
Yeah.
T, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm one of those people that I feel like the youth is just lost. I feel so sorry for them. So my question to you is, middle school, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, what do you say to them to help them focus and possibly, maybe they may find a skill that they're really good at, but what do you say to them to kind of get them to focus?
I wouldn't say I really say anything. Middle school is a time to where you really trying to figure yourself out, but like being in a position to where I know what it's like not to have that general like family aspect, or to have that love aspect coming where I come from. It's like all they need to do is feel loved, to feel like somebody care, and the rest is going to fall in line. It's like being that trust factor for them. Them calling me, they texting me, saying they feel that somebody believes in them, and the rest is going to play out. You in middle school, you still going to recess. You're not thinking about building no $1 million business at that age. You know what I'm saying? You may have dreams, you may have aspirations, but what you lack, and what a lot of us lack at that young age, is that fact of feeling loved, or that fact of having a family.
For sure.
And when you lack that, it really alters you, especially as men.
No doubt.
Yeah,
100%.
I mean, for me, I often think that like the age bracket, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, they have a lot of potential, but they're often not seen.
That's, yeah.
So it's like, I'm always asking, like, how can I get in contact with these kids? And, if you're good at breaking, this is
come change the narrative.
Right?
Come with me. I got you. I'll put you in front of 100 8th graders, and you just go be you.
Yeah, you'd be like, oh, you're good at braiding.
See
so
them.
you know what?
Yeah.
Let's get you a little something going on
That's
where you can
exactly.
kind of braid here and just kind of narrow in on it. You might have a kid that's real good with the markers. Well, here go a pair of Uptowns. You know what I mean?
100%.
Do your thing.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's where I'm at with. I'm always thinking that these kids are just never seen. So
yeah, you got to plant them seeds.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. We got connect, because I could use a lot more female mentors in my program and my nonprofit that just there for genuine intent.
Yeah, to you all about the youth. And I ain't gonna say I'm not. I'm not definitely not gonna say I'm not. You just have taken the initiative. That is your thought pattern. That is where you at with it since last year, the year before.
Don't let me get a glue gun or some sparkly stuff.
Arts and crafts.
Listen, make it rock. Make it rock. All right, well, let me ask you this then. Why is entrepreneurship such a vital component of your core values for you personally, as well as for your organizations that you operate?
Just because I gotta create. I'm a someone that leads. I lead with intent, and in order to lead with intent and lead a lifestyle of what I want, I need to create and translate the money that's being spoken. I translate money. You know what I'm saying? Money talks. I translate it. So it's being able to really just to create any lifestyle I want. There's nobody that's going to tell me what to do. And that's been since a young age. I was always stubborn. You're not going to sit here and tell me I got to do this, that, and the third, or I got to live here, or I got to clock in here. You're not going to tell me that. I'm going to be stubborn to it. You know what I'm saying? So just understand the aspect of what I want my life to look like and how I'm going to be able to help more people is by helping myself and getting to that point to where I'm not stressing over the financial, because that's one stress I don't want in this world. Although it is worldly, money is worldly. It's I don't want that stress though.
Yeah. I mean, I think financial freedom is our biggest peace of mind.
100%.
Not that problems won't come up, not that your health won't have issues later on down the road, but that peace of mind changes everything.
Yeah.
It makes you think clearer, allows you to tackle problems. It's just a whole solve issues. And I'm like, no, I mean, and it's not that it's not everything. It's not everything
at all.
And nor is it primary all the time.
Yeah.
But you need it to do what you need to do.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Create,
so
innovate.
Right. You got to use it as a tool. It's a tool, not something you chase.
Mm-hmm.
You got a quote. It says, "In a world full of fakes."
You did your research.
I'm trying to tell you.
Which one is this?
I think it's from your Instagram page.
Okay. Keep going.
In a world full of fakes,
Mm-hmm.
being yourself is the truest form of wealth.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Being you. I don't fake to be anybody. I don't choose to be anybody. You know what I'm saying? I choose to be myself, and I invest into myself. I am my greatest investment. So in a world full of people that's trying to pretend to be something they're not, I'm going to be myself, and I promise you that's going to take you farther because your intent is shown. You know what I'm saying? So what you want to be and who you are is shown. And through trials and tribulations, it's going to be seen when you're not really that person.
Yeah.
When you get that capital, and it's going to be seen that you're really not that person. You know what I'm saying? So just being you from the bottom to the top, 100%.
That's
bold. Stay prayed up. That's what's heavy.
Who is this dude, man?
Right.
Where this dude come from? For real. Like, where he come from, bro? Like, I mean, I love the philosophy because I'm the same way. Like, you have to be true to yourself. You have to be yourself to even be prepared for the money you're going to get.
Exactly.
Because I always say that if you don't even know who you are when you get that money ain't going to know who you are either.
Mm-hmm.
And not that it's not going to change you. It's not about just changing you. If you're not solid in your own person, you won't be able to gain the wealth that you want to have.
Exactly.
Right?
I'll be 10 toes on you.
10 to all day.
Mm-hmm.
So my follow-up question to you is, what does wealth look like and mean to you? What does wealth mean to you?
Wealth to me is just having, for one, that relationship with God, being like solid, being, and I just recently went through a stage in my life to where I'm seeing God in a different light. So it's really just being disciplined and being understanding and being one with God. That family, I never understood the aspect of family until I really seen a family. So it's family and being able to do as you please whenever you want to do it. That's wealth. I don't care for the flamboyant. You see, I got a old money sweatsuit on. I'm not tripping on some J's. I'm cooling. You know what I'm saying? And this will always be me. This will always be me.
It ain't about stunting on them all the time, man.
I don't wear no heavy chains. I go to my events on with a suit. Everybody else got heavy chains on and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's never about the flamboyant. It's never about the clashy. It's never about the flashy. It's really just about being one with yourself and believing in what you believe in and not moving off your pivot.
Yeah.
That's wealth to me.
Yeah, that's major.
Okay.
Yeah.
What you got, T?
All right, so question. I'm going to challenge you just teeny bit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because you got your team with you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, suppose one of your team members gets themselves in a situation.
Mm-hmm.
Do you leave your team member behind and keep it pushing? Mm-hmm. Or do you find a way to help your team member out and kind of build them up, or, listen to their side of the story and find some kind of way to help them? Or do you just leave them be?
That's a tricky question.
It is a tricky because I'm just saying, because, at the end of the day, people might.
I don't leave nobody
You're found guilty by association.
That ain't no tricky question. I would say Well, for one, I see my team as family, and you don't abandon family because
Never.
you're as strong as your family is strong.
Very true.
You know what I'm saying? That was to whom that was a tricky
No,
question.
I'm just saying.
To
Some
whom?
people guilty by association. What you did? What?
See?
Deuces, peace. I'm
Nah,
out. Like,
you stay solid. You stay 10 toes behind who's backing you, because even when things go wrong, you only got certain people to look at, especially when you're at that level that want genuine intent from you. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people can say that they genuine, but they're not really genuine. They don't really care about you.
Yeah.
So the people that do care about you, we going trials and tribulations, feet on land, we good. We solid. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how you gonna grow. That's how you gonna be solid.
That's
any industry.
That's
every
exactly
industry.
how you gonna
you
be
know,
solid.
I mean, I'm just saying because you go to church, they got the Judge Judy's all over the place.
Nah, I listen. I left. I don't think I left anybody behind, but we done had a couple times when somebody had to come save me. Right? Somebody go get Jimmy. Please don't get Jimmy. He acting crazy. But
100%. 100%. It's be like that.
Sometimes I'm that bull. Like you be in the building, you be like, somebody go get that bull. But I mean, it's always good to have team members around. Like I will attest to all the time. I probably have the most solid team I've ever had in my whole life. And I spend more time talking to them than I do my actual family. Not that I don't talk to my family. I love my family.
Yeah.
But it's like these are the people I'm building with. And I think when I look back at our team, we have conversations about this all the time. Like, yo, we got a solid team.
Yeah, we do.
We got a solid team. And it makes you funny because when you get to my age, you ain't got time to keep starting over.
Right.
You know, you don't have time to keep starting over and over and over and over. You just want to go at this thing, find the right people. And I had to pray about these people.
See, that's
I had to pray about them.
Have had on the nail.
You know, because I hit many walls, had old business partners steal from me, had people decide that they didn't want to do something with me. You know, I had to take all on the chin. Like, well, I guess it happens. But I sat down with it and I was like, God, send me the people you want me to work with. That's what I need you to do. I'll work with anybody, but send me the people you need me to work with. And one by one, they just kept coming.
See,
they just kept coming.
And I mean, for me, like
God every time.
I guess I feel like my team pretty much knows me kind of better than my family does, and that's crazy.
It does. It is crazy.
I'm like, how is that? Because I mean, I get a lot of judgment from my family. I don't get the same judgment from my team, and now my team is my new family.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the reason I was asking the question. I'm like, all right, well, what happens when one of your team members just drops?
Yeah.
You know, what do you do? Yeah, you know, do you pick them back up and it's okay? Dust your shoulders off, try again. Let's get it popping. You know what I mean? Because I know some family members, you do something wrong, you know what I mean?
That's it, you write them off.
Yeah, they write you off. How often have we heard the conversation? Oh, I don't mess with my cousin like that.
All the time.
You hear it all the time.
I'll mess with my brother like that. He don't be doing right.
Exactly. That's that's the reason why I asked the question. Like, all right, so but he said no. Like, we a different kind of family. No person is left behind.
It's different nowadays too. Like you're not gonna just rock with the people you know. The people you know are going to have your back. And that's when you know. That's where your support system is. If you ain't got a support system, I don't know what you got.
100%.
I don't know what you got.
And you realize that. You realize you just want to be about pure, genuine people.
That's it,
especially
man.
when you're just trying to be great.
How do you foster a sense of community with your events and your initiatives? How do you make it feel like community? I was watching a video that you did, and there was a bunch of people in the room. There's a lot of people in the room. Well, different. I don't know whether it's Philly or Jersey or wherever it was.
Probably Center City. Yeah.
But you had a different group of people. I saw white people. I saw black people. I saw Hispanic people. I saw people that of all multiracial backgrounds sitting in this room. You might have been giving your speech about it, but it was kind of like I saw you holding court. You know, I call it getting on my soapbox, right? I saw you holding court and the captivation of what people were really thinking. Like, yo, this is really dope. So how do you foster that community? How do you make that synergy that's in that room stay vibrant?
I can't. I'm still learning myself. I'm still learning how powerful I really am. But it's really just being genuine. You know what I'm saying? Like, people that are around me, people that are first off, one thing, coming from the community, in the community, people smell blood, especially when you around people that will really take you off this, you know what I'm saying? Like, they really would see where it's false, when you're not really moving how you move, or you're not really pushing there that you really portray. So it's really just being genuine. I can say that everybody in my camp, whole Change the Narrative camp, shout out them, they lead, they see what I do, and they see how I lead, and I lead by an example. but I don't talk down at. I'm not better than anybody. I'm not over anybody. I'm one with everybody. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you lead in that manner, that people gonna gravitate, because there's not a lot of people that are genuine. Humbly speaking, there's just people are not genuine when there's money on the line.
It's so true. And when people see opportunity, people become opportunists.
Yeah, opportunists.
You know what I mean? And that's what you gotta be able to discern. I see you. I'm not gonna go that route. I'm gonna go this route. I think that's always important, man. You know, I done talked to this man, just dropping some bars over this jaw. Truly captivated. And that's not a play. I'm dead serious, bro. I'm really impressed with just how you facilitate what you facilitate, how you articulate what you articulate, and how you think about not just life in terms of yourself, but how your life can make an impact on others. That's what I strive for every day. Even doing this show, when we go out there in the public, we're doing interviews, it's how we can make a positive community impact. And I see you doing that. So bro, not just kudos, but salute. All
Appreciate
that.
You.
Listen,
Come
salute, fam. Salute. I'm gonna go to the next event. The next networking event. You better believe I'm gonna be in that building.
It's on me.
Listen, I hope you don't kick me out, but I'm gonna be in the building. That's for sure.
You good. Let's do it.
I'm just playing, man. I'm just playing. What initiatives do you have coming up now? Like, what's coming up soon for you?
So I've been in touch and talks with a lot of big venues in Center City, going off my partnership. So what a lot of people don't know is, through my partnership in City Hall with Isaiah Thomas, we have the 2026. I don't know if entrepreneurs may know this, but the amount of funding that's going to be in Philly due to events coming in, rest in peace to Pope, but just he was supposed to come to Philly. His March Madness coming to Philly All-Star Weekend. So many different big events that's going to be in Philly. And for me, it's strategically planning where I'm going to put my events. Like my last event, I sold out. Last 2 events, I sold out. So I need bigger venues. And it's finding that venue and filling the room, doing it again, multiply. Start leveraging the engagements. Recently just spoke at my college that I dropped out of, Chestnut Hill. So speaking,
gangster.
You feel me? So speaking in the college, just understanding that, taking all of that and multiplying and leveraging it, especially come 2026. So to be determined on events, but just know that we got some heavy hitters on a couple of plays that I got coming to Philly on the event status.
That's
and
dope.
Engagements.
That's dope. 2026. He made that announcement too at Build a Table, the last one.
Lord.
I was like, yo,
kind of upset that
listen, I'm setting it up right now. Let me get my grant writings in perspective. Let me make sure I get my team right. Yeah, real strategic. Real strategic. What can you offer? What are you going to do? How are you going to do it?
How you going to
How
be
much
of value?
you need? Yeah, how you going to be of value?
Every situation, how you going to be of value?
I think that's the key point. That's the key point. Nah, we'll talk about that. I think we got something.
See, look, y'all start game planning and plotting.
I think we got something.
Yeah.
And we need the link too. We got to do our community events we was talking about, because I would love some change the narrative community event.
I want to bring you
Philadelphia
on
radio.
I'm
telling you, come put those joints together, man. We can community events, DJ.
Yeah,
moon bounce. Let's get it all popping. Games in the community, food.
Yeah,
you know my man who normally sits here is he's a cook.
Yeah,
he got a restaurant over in Derby.
Okay, what he cooked though?
Everything. You name it, he flame it.
Okay.
No.
Cool. Just no pork. No pork.
No pork.
We
don't cook pork.
We good.
We don't do no pork. We don't do no pork and no salt. So his it's crazy how much
his food's good.
It's crazy now, bro. Like, we need to have you there, and we need to have him come to the tasting talk. You come to the tasting talk, you can taste the food, and that's one of those things. Tasting talk is what we do. We go out to the community, have conversations in the community. The last season was about relationships. This one's going to be about family, and we do episodes and just get people in the community talking about their experience. We feed them, have a conversation, a radio show live. And they eat it up.
Let's do it.
It's dope. So I'd love to have you at the next one, man. Just come through
I was gonna say, I would
be able
love
to
to
share.
have you. So we recently we passing something in high schools to where I create a Change the Narrative Day, to where I have entrepreneurs from all different walks of life come together, and we're gonna put that all throughout high schools, throughout Philly, Jersey, and it's Change the Narrative Day, CTN Day. You know what I'm saying? So you entrepreneur, if you have an ambition, if you have a vision, if you have a grind, come talk to me. Let's highlight it. Let's put it in these.
I love the schools.
Right.
I love it. Let's definitely change the narrative. That's the first place to start. Oh goodness,
Exactly.
let's change the narrative.
Right.
Love it,
Sir.
love it, love
CTN
it.
Day, man.
Is there anything you want to say to my bad T? Is there anything you want to say before?
Thank you.
I appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It is not very often when we find someone as young as Mr. Cooke come in here and just drop gems.
Gems.
Just dropping gems.
Bars.
All day. So Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I'm going to let you know this.
Talk to me.
The more motivational you are, the more challenges are going to come your way.
Mm-hmm.
You already swimming. So keep on swimming, keep on swimming, keep on swimming. You got this.
Thank you.
But thank you so much for what you've done so far. Sky's the limit, but you know that already.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes.
Space is the limit.
Space is
I'm going up there with Elon Musk to go bring that thing down. That's why I'm gonna be in space, girl. Space.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But fam, like you know, from the moment from the moment I met you, I remember we met at the first Build a Table down on up on Ridge Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
And they had had the entrepreneurs up there.
The movie premiere.
The movie premiere.
Shout out to
great
Tierra.
film. Shout out to Tierra. Great film. Build a Table.
Oh yeah, we love her.
You know, and I was sitting there and I was like, he was like, yo, man, he was there.
I'm a low key person.
That's how I met him.
I stay in the back.
Wow, I
That's
mean,
how I
she's
met
had
him.
so many Build the Table. I'm thinking it was the one I just missed.
No, it was the first one, and
Oh,
and between that period of time, I was supposed to be like, let's get Nas in here, let's make sure we get him on, and I got so busy, I just didn't. So the second one, when I saw you, I was like, no, we grabbing this right now.
Yeah.
And
definitely said that.
You know, that's what I said, right?
Yeah.
Because even from that first time we met, I was like, something about that young boy. I don't even know what it is. My man got something about him.
Mm-hmm.
It might be your aura. You talk about that prayer, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes when you pray, you're as connected as you want to be. Your aura shines for you. You don't have to.
You have a Nora. Your Nora shine.
You don't have to say anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like it speaks for you.
Yes, Lord.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was a big thing because I was like, yo, this dude, dope dude. I got to get him on the show. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know what you did. I don't think I even cared about what you did. Mm-hmm. I was like, let's just get him on.
Right.
And then the more I started researching, I was like, my man he doing some work.
Mm-hmm.
He doing some work. So, bro, like, I'm not gonna tell you not to stop. I'm gonna tell you, go after what your heart is telling you. Mm-hmm. Whatever your heart is telling you, however you wake up in the morning and what inspires you to do this, make sure that light stays lit at all times. Everybody's like, well, don't let nobody take nothing from you. It's not even about that. You're going to continue to grow and continue to blossom and continue to have maturations of who you are. So this version right here, 10 years from now, won't be the same version. But the thing about it is, if this version right here, this is the foundation for the version 10 years from now. And the foundation, I'm saying, you're laying great bricks for what you're building, the empire you're building, bro. So do not stop this, man. You inspire me. I ain't gonna take it on Lolo. I'm gonna tell you straight up. You inspire me.
Appreciate it.
Because it's not even about I want to be where you are. I see what you're doing, and it makes sense. And you know, we need more brothers like you. We need more brothers who want to change the narrative. You know, sometimes we're the chosen few. We're given a responsibility for a reason, and I'm seeing that reason every time we talk. Mm-hmm. So keep doing it, bro. Don't stop. If you ever get to a point where you like, I can't. I'm exhausted. Call me. I got you. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you about that exhaustion and why you got to keep going. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because we're only human. I'm gonna tell you that right now. We're only human, and we get to a point where we're like, yo, I don't know if I can give anymore. And the next thing you do, you give some more and realize that your limits are stretched. As a young man, you can stretch some limits. So, bro, like, power to you, man. Much love. You're gonna be in my prayers. I wish nothing but the best for you, fam. For real, nothing but the best, bro. So, you know, I can't wait for us to link and do some networking, brother. So
let's do it, man.
Much love, man. Much love, much love. Anything you want to say to the fam before we let you go?
Just stay tuned. Find me at _Nas Cook. Website going up. Engagements aligning. We're gonna be in DC. We're gonna be in Maryland. Cali. They got me on tour, man. So just stay tuned to the engagements and my IG, because that's my business plan. And see as I do, not as I say. I'm gonna continue to do and not speak about it. So
no doubt.
Change the narrative.
We good?
Yes.
We good?
I do it.
Did y'all have a good time? We got family in the building. Got family. It's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing. Well, let that be said, family. So until the next episode, you can find us on Good Hope Road. Screaming, stay up. Don't sleep in your dreams. And please call somebody you talked to recently or somebody you haven't talked to recently. Call them and tell them that you love them, because you never know when you might get another chance. My sister T. My brother Nas.
Yes, sir.
Brother Byron, who ain't here. Brother Ty, who ain't here. I'm Jimmy Bonds, and we out. Peace.